Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Building the Board presented by Hyper Ice. I'm Britt Johnson, and we are talking safeties today. Cowboys Nation is definitely excited about the re-signing of Jaron Kearse. He had his best season last year, recording almost 100 tackles. We also brought back Malik Hooker, so I am going to bring in Dave Hellman because I got to ask you, Dave, the Cowboys have had some trouble in the past with safeties, to say the least. Are you worried about that going into this draft?
No, and I feel so weird saying that. Like, I feel like I'm betraying. I feel like I'm betraying my duty. It does feel good. You're right. Like, I have been whining, for lack of a better word, about this team not being able to find a safety for years. Now, with Jaron Kearse, Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson's still kicking around. We haven't forgot about you, Dono. That's a solid 3 right there. Of course, you can always get better, but this doesn't feel like a disaster like I might have said in years past. So I actually feel pretty good about this right now.
And there's not any like day 1 guys that are like exploding at everybody like anyway. So let's move to day 2 or 3. What are your day 2 or 3 guys that you have in this draft?
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. Obviously, Kyle Hamilton at Notre Dame, probably going to go off the board way before the Cowboys pick at 24. Then you're talking about maybe Dax Hill out of Michigan. A name that I really like is Lewis Seen from Georgia. I just wonder if he'll be there when the Cowboys pick 56th overall. So honestly, this is a year that kind of lines up for the Cowboys in the sense that there aren't that many great safety prospects. I know a lot of people love Jaquan Brisker out of Penn State. Again, that is another guy where I'm like, will he still be there at 56? It just feels weird for me to say. The value's not there on day 1 and day 2 for where the Cowboys are, but I think I'm okay with that. I think if they want to draft a safety in 2022, I think they can get away with waiting until day 3.
Nice. Well, let's just head on over to Kyle because I'm sure he has a very special guy that he wants to talk about as far as safeties are concerned. Kyle?
Thank you very much, Britt, and you're exactly right. Someone special indeed. We're talking about safeties. There's a big S on the graphic. That's for special. It's not because he's an early round prospect, but it's because he could be somebody who fits in Dan Quinn's system later in draft weekend, and that's Brian Cook. 6 foot, 206 pounds, and he wears a ton of hats for that Cincinnati defense, or he did so in the Bearcats' college football playoff season this past campaign. Let's take a look at a couple of ways he really likes to find the football, and he does so on this play, starting from the left side. Watch this tight end over the middle of the field against Miami, Ohio. Very good team overall, and there's a ton of room in the center of the field. Up the gridiron they go, and as we go ahead and roll on this play, look at his eyes all the way through. So he's pause it right there. He's still in the backfield. He's watching the quarterback. The quarterback, of course, is about to throw over the middle. Well, what does he do? He's already turned. Look at the fluid hips all the way through from Cook, and then he has a huge hit on the football, jarring it loose at the hash mark, meeting in the middle. It is perfectly timed. Roll it back just a tad to where that football is touching the hands of this tight end right here. I mean, he's already in his grill. Look at that. It could not be any more perfect for Brian Cook. That's what he can do in coverage. He has that recognition. He has the ability to get to the football and jar it loose with some hitting ability. Speaking of hitting ability, what about coming up and helping in the run? This is against SMU, the Ponies from just down the road. Up in the middle, plug in the hole. Party at the football. Go ahead and roll that back. Watch the hit. Watch the hit right here. Let's go ahead and hit the confetti too. Bam! Right there, forcing that ball loose. He actually held on to the football on the way to the ground, but a good hit. He comes up, he plays in the box, he comes on the blitz, he's able to cover over the top. He's a center field guy that has a couple of different ways he can win and find the football. If you're asking me, that sounds like a Dan Quinn sort of guy.
When you walk over here, it looks like you're pleading with me.
I am pleading.
I would. You sold me. I would draft him if it were up to me. I'm interested. I'm in, man.
Good.
Well, I don't think you should have came over here without bringing some confetti. That's what I was looking for.
Where is that up here?
Make it rain on us. Make it rain on us. Well, I got to ask you guys both this question. To take a guy on day 2 for the Dallas Cowboys, what skill set are you guys looking for? Because we do have some safeties already.
That's the interesting thing for me. Again, you have 2 starters, Malik Hooker and Jaron Kearse coming back, Donovan Wilson. I forgot to mention Israel Mukuamu. My apologies to Izzy coming back for his second year, a guy that the Cowboys like for his traits and his size. I'm curious what a rookie could contribute here, especially if it's not super early. It seems kind of crowded to me, and that's why I look more toward day 3. I just don't know that the opportunity is here for a guy to play right away unless you were to get lucky with a Kyle Hamilton or maybe a Dax Hill. If that were to happen, I think the conversation changes. But the options available to you later on, there's not a lot of opportunity here with the veterans.
You've got the length with Mukuamu. You've got the combination of both with Kearse. You've got the hitting ability with Donovan Wilson. It's a lot of guys filling a bunch of roles. So that's kind of why I went to a guy like Brian Cook, who does multiple things along the way. But you can also look to just upgrade your team speed. I mean, anytime you can add speed to the second level, it's always going to be a good thing. And I mean, you could look at guys like JT Woods out of Baylor, who's a day 3 slotted sort of safety, but a guy who ran in the 4.4s, low 4.4s during the combine in Indianapolis. Maybe you want to look to upgrade the speed on the back end, but I'm right there with you. It's going to have to be something pretty special in order to spend draft capital on it.
But you also, we mentioned this in other episodes, late picks play on special teams. You talk about
Great
speed. Speed is very valuable in situations like that. So again, Mukuamu was a 6th round pick. If they wanted to do something like that again this year, I've got no problem with it. I would be surprised if a rookie safety got his way onto the defense again, unless something crazy were to happen.
Well, I will tell you guys, it feels good to not have to need a safety.
It's like a relief. I love the way this feels.
Isn't it amazing?
Kyle Yeomans, Dave Hellman, thank you guys so much. We will see you guys next time on Building the Board, presented by Hyper Ice. I'm Britt Johnson.